Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night. This is Phil Russertt. I'm the host for Creatorcon Q&A. This is episode 7. I'm also the owner and promoter of Creatorcon. It's a true comic book convention where our comic book creators are our celebrities, and you have thousands of comics to choose from. If you look at the scroll below, www.creatorconevent.com, please join our mailing list so you can get up-to-date announcements and information. Before we get to our guest tonight, I usually do shout outs to people in the industry. For time restraints, I will mention 4 people, but all of the links will be put in the chat for everyone. As usual, we have Mad Titan Comics, which is run by Eric Gunderson, Mad Titan _comics at Instagram. And we have Eric Gunderson on Facebook. If you want graded, slabbed, key issues or issues just to fill in your runs, please go to Mad Titan Comics. He's a good guy with fair prices. We have lesdudis.com, LESDUDIS.com. It's everything you want, geek culture and pop culture. Convention reviews, toy reviews, movie reviews, you name it. And Andy Lee runs that, and he's an awesome dude. We also have Enrique Lopez, which if you want his new anthology book, Stupendous, message him on Facebook. But you can also see his Inking with Kike on Instagram every Monday night at 8 o'clock. It's Studio Main EFL, MAENEFL. Or go to eelopezgil.myportfolio.com, and you can see all of his art for sale. We also have a Kickstarter going on right now. It is Mojo Risen, Darkness Rising, issue number 1. It's a 32-page comic set in apocalyptic New Orleans, the center of all magical power since the Big War, and it has magic, monsters, mayhem, and mojo. So please go to Kickstarter, support them, check it out. We need to support indie artists. They're the ones that have kept us afloat during this pencils down movement, and we really have to support these guys. They're putting out some great stuff these days. The content is awesome. Having said that, tonight's guest, as you all know, I'm sure, is Ryan Kincaid. He's an awesome artist. He's worked for Zenescope. He does a lot of variant covers. He's one of my favorites to go to at every con. I had the great pleasure of having him as a guest at my show. So without further ado, let's welcome Ryan Kincaid.
How you doing, guys?
So Ryan's going to be joining when we talk tonight. There's a little bit of a lag, so if there's a pause between Ryan's responses, that's because of the lag. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, little bit, not much, but a little bit.
Well, then at least we know if you have a potty mouth, we can be warned.
I have a potty mouth. Most of the people that know me know I have a potty mouth.
You know, I have to tell you, when I first met you, obviously didn't know each other. You were very straightly seeming, and the more I talk to you, you have a good sense of humor. You're one of those guys you can joke and crush chops with. So it was interesting to find
absolutely.
out. So you've been an artist professionally for how long now?
Professionally, about 10, 12 years, something like that.
How did you get your start? I mean, what got you into it?
Man, I've always liked comics. I didn't really read a lot of them, but I used them to learn how to draw. And I'm not necessarily a athletic person. I played sports a lot, but it was never like a serious thing.
So you got into art at an early age, and what made you decide to get into comics as an artist? What was your break?
You can hear my dog in the background. I actually did cartooning and stuff first. I wanted to be a Disney animator. It wasn't until I don't know, I was 20 years ago or so that I started learning comics and stuff. I always drew them, but I didn't think I was going to be like going towards doing them. I went to a Comic-Con in LA and got hooked.
So how did you get? What was your first break into
dogs.
comics?
They want to see my dog. The first cover I did was for a book called Zombies versus Cheerleaders, which I think I have floating around here somewhere. Maybe not. I had somebody had me show it off on one of the other shows on my live feed, and it was one of those you don't really want it seen by public eyes.
So as an artist, do you look back at your older work and cringe, or?
Oh yeah, all the time. I'm always looking at stuff from 5 years ago, even to like 3 years ago, and cringe.
What was your first? What was Zenescope? Was your major publishing debut? What did you do? How did you get into them?
No, actually, I did interior like pinups for Zenescope, but I never did any covers. My big published piece was Dynamite. I did Vampirella.
Okay, and how long ago was that?
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on. I actually have it. I can show you.
Hello, everybody. Gallo, Patrick, Keith, Steve, Kathy, Veer. Thanks for coming out. Hope everybody's having a nice Friday night.
So this is the first one. This is done in 2017.
Nice. Very nice. I have you on some of my jam pieces. I even got on my sketchbook. You did
Yes.
Fairchild for me on my image piece, the most recent one. Your art style matches that whole J. Scott Campbell feel that Gen 13 had. You've got like a pinup style.
Right.
So have you felt that there's some sort of stigma or anything against the pinup style?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes. It without pressing buttons. I get it from. Basically, I don't know if you want to say the. I'm trying to think of the politically correct wording.
We don't need. Listen, we don't do
Mother-
politics. This is a sit down chat. Just tell us.
Yeah, a lot of mothers or ones I get offended easily will always ask, like, why do I do what I do, and don't I get or feel ashamed that I make a living drawing women's gladly or the way they are, and I try and be as nice as possible, but most of the time I just tell them no, I'm not ashamed of it, because my wife helps me out with a lot of the posing and what's pushing the limit or not. So if she's okay with it, then I don't really care.
Well, she was the inspiration between the White Widow that you did, right?
Right. I've used her actually a lot.
Well, there's a lot of female artists that do a lot of pinup as well. So some people might think it's some sort of sexual exploitation, but honestly, I mean, since the dawn of comics, women in comics have been drawn just like men, exaggerated in their anatomy.
Right.
So we don't hold judgment on you here. we don't hold judgment on you here.
No. Let's see. One of them says, "What's my favorite character to draw?" I go through spurts here. It depends on what's going on at the moment. I love drawing Superman, Spider-Man. Some days I like drawing Rogue. Other days I don't.
We also have, sorry. Yeah, there's another phone. It's because of the third screen for his art that you're getting that lag and that echo. Unfortunately, we tried to work that out. It didn't happen. The only option is he stops drawing and we just do an interview. I guess we'll leave it up to you guys to decide.
That or just don't look at me and we look at the art.
We could do that too. If you'd rather go off camera, we could just look at the art progression.
We can do that. That way there's no echo.
All right. Yeah, I think it's kind of messing people up, and then our conversation isn't flowing because you have that lag. So we'll go to the art if that's okay. Nothing against your face.
Go for it.
You got to unmute the mic on the front. Okay. There you go. How are you?
Okay. Now I can see.
Now we're doing right. There you go. Yeah, Patrick, we did mute it, but it doesn't matter for some reason. We're good to go. So anyway,
no matter which side we tried to unmute, it didn't really work.
Yeah,
to answer the earlier question, my dog is a Lhasa Apso, one of them.
So
I saw somebody asked about what kind of dog I had.
Yeah, and you were asked what characters you like, and you were talking about Superman and Rogue sometimes, and any other characters.
I'm such a fanboy on a lot of stuff. It's hard for me to pick characters. Again, I go through kind of spurts. Like sometimes I like drawing Harley, but after I get told to draw Harley like 37 times, I don't like drawing her anymore.
Yeah,
and then it'll go away, and then I'll like doing it again. Doing the con circuit, you get used to having to just draw the same people a lot. So I would get tired of drawing even my favorite characters. But now without cons, on my live stream shows that I do during the week, we found a way of getting around having repeat characters more than like once every few weeks. So,
well, you do a cool thing.
I enjoy drawing. Right? Yeah, we do the dartboard, is what we call it. It's my Nerf gun dartboard.
So basically, what he does is he has a list of suggestions from fans, and then they just shoot the dartboard, and whatever it lands, that's the character they do that night for his live draw. Which is what nights and what time?
We try and do it on Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. You know, me being a dad of two kids that are very active, that kind of changes every once in a while.
Two boys, right?
Yeah, it's football and taekwondo and all sorts of stuff. So we try and do Tuesday and Thursday nights at around 8:30 Central.
Okay.
And then I'm also live on the Artist Alley Network on Mondays from 3 to 5 Central. And I usually do like one drawing or two. We auction off some slabs. We auction off or sell off some books, sell off some slabs. One or the other. I have a ton of stuff that we deal with to try and keep it fun and entertaining.
Yeah, you have a ton of.
I don't like dealing with boring ones. What's that?
Yeah, you have a ton of variant covers that you've done. New York City Comic Con exclusives, Comics Elite. You did a cover for Sora, didn't you? On Carnal.
Yes, I've done cover for Sora for Carnal Confessions, and I've done her Aurora Rising. There's not many books that, if they're my friends, that I actually haven't worked on their covers.
Hi, Dawn. Thanks for coming out. So if you had your choice of working for the two big publishers or continuing doing what you're doing, indie work, variant covers, which would you choose?
Oh man, you're gonna put me on the spot now. So I mean, my favorite characters have always been. I'm trying to turn this off real fast.
I was about to say, we hear me talking from 3 minutes ago.
Yeah. I like drawing the DC characters. I don't get a lot of chance to read a lot of them. I try to keep up with what's going on, but it's kind of hard sometimes. But I really want to, like, at least once in my career, get to be able to draw either Spider-Man or, the X-Men, or, one of those you were a kid and it makes you feel like a kid books. I enjoy doing independent books a lot. I feel there's a lot more heart in some of the books and people that you work with in the indie world.
Right. There's definitely a lot of passion. Well, it's not corporate. You're not running through a deadline in that sense. And I would imagine there's more autonomy for you.
Right. You're working a lot closer with your friends. It's always cool to see your friends' dreams come to life on paper and whatnot. Like I said, I've been trading covers back and forth with different people. Bill McKay just did a cover for me not too long ago. Nice. And in turn, I'm gonna do a cover for him. Chad Harden, same thing. He did a cover for me, so I did a cover for him.
Nice. By the way, my apologies. Someone's firing off fireworks outside, so if you hear anything, I don't live in Compton. They're just shooting off fireworks.
Dude, I grew up in LA. It's all good. Compton's nothing.
Well, if you hear, I'm like shaking my head because they're blowing up like right outside behind my backyard. So sorry about that.
Yeah.
If you were to work
I can't hear it, so.
If you were to work for DC, which title would you want, and who would you want to be the creative team with you?
If I were to work on DC?
Yeah, because you said you prefer DC.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I was allowed my choice on DC, it would actually probably be something like Super Sons or Young Justice or the Teen Titans.
Nice.
I think there's just a lot more fun to them. It's not always about the nitty gritty. Some of the stories they got going on right now, like Death Metal, and I know I'm working on covers for Death Metal, but it's a little hard for me to get into. It's a little out there. I like the fun books. I like Young Justice. I really like John Tim's work that he's doing on Young Justice, and I kind of like that feel. So he would definitely be part of the team, although if he was on the team, that means I'm not working on it. Because
I was going to say. So who would be the writer?
Oh, man. There's so many good writers right now.
Well, just your answer doesn't mean that you don't like other writers, so we're not saying that.
What? Yeah. Well, like, I would like to see like a Donny Cates twist on something that's not so dark. Like most of Donny Cates' stuff is like dark and twisted. Like, what could he do with something that's got to be a little more lighthearted?
Right. Okay.
That'd be kind of interesting. If I could pencil it, that would be cool. I love Matt Santorelli. I think that's how you say his last name.
I'll go with you on that.
He's Carlo Barberi's inker on Super Sons, and he does a great job.
Have you ever submitted or any sequential work to DC?
I did a couple years ago. That's actually how I started getting my cover jobs with DC, is that they saw I could draw.
Nice.
And allowed it. You have to kind of go through the ringer on some of that stuff unless you come out and have that crazy new computer generated style.
Right. You have a
So that's
sorry, go ahead.
my
You have,
I'm like my style's traditional.
and you have a cover coming out, right? You mentioned before a DC cover.
Yes, I actually was gonna draw on one of them, but I don't know what to do because I'm not familiar with all the characters yet. But like this is the one of the variants we did for Death Metal 3,
Nice.
and this is with myself and Nathan Zerdy. This just came out, I think, last week. But we also have a 4 cover set coming out in 2 weeks, I believe. That's for the new Harley Quinn 75 book.
Nice.
And I just signed a contract to work on another title, but we're not allowed to say.
Okay. Well, we'll when you're
Gotta
ready to
love those
announce, we'll all
NDA.
know. So we got a few
Yeah,
questions from people here. Gallo Romero asks, with the situation going on with
Go
DC,
for
do
it.
you feel the comics industry is in jeopardy? Does it worry you?
Not at all. I can elaborate.
Don't make me have to drag this out of you, man.
Yeah. No, DC's going to change. The comic industry alone you can see it's changing. This is just another change. Is it going to be weird and hard on some things? Yes. Does it look like AT&T maybe making them go a little more less titles and more digital? Yes.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be a need for comics. Now, what you are going to see, which unfortunately for some is beneficial for me, is the rise of indies.
That's what I was going to ask
You're
you.
going to see independent publishers and stuff going strong. I mean, during COVID, when it first started, and like you were saying, when you had me in the green room, is that whole pencils down, which I never even actually heard of.
It doesn't affect you because you're doing all the indie books. You filled in the void while we weren't getting DC and Marvel books.
Right. I didn't even hear about the pencils down because, I mean, we do books so far out that, I don't see them had stopping so many because when this was going to be over, everyone had just planned on like a couple months.
Right.
So you figure you still got to be on top of your stuff. Things that are coming out now were drawn like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Right.
But we saw DC stop distributing and everything stopped distributing except for indie people like myself and Marat.
Because you're not
We
relying
had
on
access
Diamond.
to our own properties.
Right.
Right. We had access to our own properties and our own printers that we've been using for years that our properties skyrocketed. I was selling Persuasion like a couple copies here and there. And I started doing covers with Nathan and selling them to retailers and stuff all over the country. And we went through thousands of books.
Yeah, I've been watching you and Marat kill it. Big time.
Yeah, I mean,
but I think it's
adjust.
Important. I think it's important because we can't just rely on the big two. I mean, you've got IDW, you've got Dynamite, you've got Image, you've got Valiant, you've got all the independents that you guys like and I think for too long the two big ones have been putting everybody in their shadow. I think it's great to get that attention, that spotlight on other options. I mean, I think a lot of people are realizing what really is out there.
Yes.
So
I think part of it is just the unnatural, the unfamiliar. One of being a creature of habit myself, like one of the hardest things is for most people is to try something new.
Right.
We go to what we know. A guy goes into a comic book shop and he sees a Spider-Man book and I like, I know that artist, I know this character, I'm going for it. Where you see the new Pray for the Sinner book and you're like, well, what is this? I'm already invested hundreds of books into Spider-Man, like I don't want to start something else.
Right.
So it's breaking the mold of people actually giving new books a try, that you're seeing more. Because now I'm seeing, like, I did a cover for No Heroine from Source Point Press for fun, and they loved it, and they're like, let's use it. Okay, sold out, done. No one's ever heard of it. It just, indies are coming, they're realizing these guys actually are telling great stories that are not all just straight normal superheroes.
Agreed. So, I noticed that Marat gets a lot of books. His fans are slabbing him. I know you get a lot of people slabbing him, grading and slabbing. How do you feel the grading system and slabbing has impacted indie books like you and Marat and Sora and all those guys?
Um, Grading books is a catch-22. If you're looking for an investment, everything is always a gamble. Like,
Right.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if it's my book, if it's a DC book, if it's a Marvel book. They're always a gamble. The book could be worth $20 today, and in 5 years still be worth $20. But if a movie comes out, then all of a sudden now that book is worth $50. But if you have a 9.8 version of that, for some reason it's $200.
Right. But the thing is, with
It's
what you guys are
speculation
doing,
market.
though, with low print runs, I think a lot of fans are saying, let me get this graded high, let me get this slabbed, because if this does blow up with such a low print run, it's only going to increase the value.
Exactly. Right. And that's to me, that's entirely true. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like, you don't know what's going to happen with any of these book runs. I mean, look at Walking Dead.
Yep.
Did everybody think that Walking Dead was going to be this huge success? No. Did the people that got it graded when this book first came out, are they like the ones living it up? Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you never know if for all a property could be bought by a major publisher, but the first appearance is the book that you did, and that would be
Right.
extremely valuable.
Exactly.
So,
Grading, you have to take grading with what you are expecting to get out of it. It's great for art. It's great for comics. I think people can take it too far. It's a market that somebody created, and we've grown to adapt to it.
mhm.
It works. The funny part about grading is, like, when people grade sketch covers, like what I'm working on right now. When people grade these things and assume value of of them. To me,
Right.
a graded sketch can only go up in value. Like, no matter what, it can't go down.
Well, it's a
You
one
don't
of a
buy
kind piece of art.
what's that?
It's a one of a kind piece of art. I mean, you can't grade a commission,
Right.
but you can grade the sketchbooks, the sketch covers. So,
Right. But I've had conversations with guys, that they are, we'll call it flippers. We'll call them what they are.
yeah.
They'll get 5 or 6 sketch covers from some people, and, oh, can you guarantee me a 9.8? No, man, I can't guarantee you 9.8. I can guarantee you I will draw the best Superman I can draw. Oh, well, if it's 9.8, it goes down in value. How the hell does a book go down in value? Like, I don't charge less if it comes out a 9.8. If I charge you $200 to draw something, no matter what, that book is worth $200.
Right. Well,
So I've seen
unfortunately,
people that have gotten books and selling them for less than the book cost to just draw on it.
in every industry, you're going to have that kind of, I don't know if seedy underbelly is the right term, but you're going to have those that are taking the system in place and trying to go with it.
Yeah, I call them boneheads.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of art flippers.
Like, you don't want. Yeah.
Every commission I've ever bought, I don't sell anything. It's mine. I keep it. I'll pass it on to my kids one day when I finally get 6 feet under.
Right. And I mean, art flipping is part of the industry. It's symbiotic. I don't care whatsoever. People used to ask if I got mad that somebody at a con had me draw She-Hulk, and then 2 days later it's up on eBay. No, because I mean that's what they do. Like, I don't care. I did my part. They're doing their part. It was always the part that, like I just said, if it didn't come back a 9.8, they would sell it for less than what it cost them to get it made. I'm like, dude,
Right.
you just you're doing it ass backwards.
Right. Well, that's on them.
Like sell it raw for 200 or 300. Sell it graded for more, because now it's preserved. It's not going to lose value. It's always going to stay that grade.
Gallo Romero is in the chat room, and he's a big fan of grading, and he's very knowledgeable on grading. And he was saying that it's true. 9.8 in today's market for moderns are a must. Anything less is an anathema. So we have a couple of questions.
To a point. But go ahead. We'll go to the next question.
No,
that could be all night long.
Come on. If you got a response to Gallo, go for it.
Well,
let's have some fun.
Even with modern day comics, let's look at it like this. Okay. In my case, should most books come out in 9.8? Yeah. Is it going to happen every time? No. It goes through a printer. Printers make mistakes. You can't catch them all.
Right.
It goes from the printer to, in this case, me. So it has to go from Arizona to me. Now, if they don't pack those things tight, things can happen to them just in one destination.
And we see all your posts about how your stuff has been damaged lately.
Right, exactly. So then it comes to me. We unpack them. These things don't get packed, bag, and boarded. So then we're going to do that. We're going to bag and board them. I'm going to now send them to the artist to go ahead and get those things signed. So now it's been shipped twice. Hasn't even been out to public yet and shipped twice. Then it's going to come back to me, and then I'm going to send it to the person that bought the book. You're talking about a possibility of being shipped 4 different times before it even gets into the customer's hands. Something's going to happen to some of those books.
Right.
Not everything is going to be a 9.8.
Right. Let's see if there's a response. Okay. So there's a bunch of questions in here, and if I don't get to you guys with your questions during the conversation, we will have a Q&A afterwards for a few minutes. So, please keep those questions if I didn't respond to them. But where we go? So Keith was asking, which are your favorite artists?
That's an ever-changing thing, but the constants have always been J. Scott Campbell, Joe Madureira, Jim Lee, Todd Knock. Just John Boy Myers has always been a favorite one of mine.
Yeah, he's a great artist.
A lot of these guys, it's all crazy different styles, and that's what I love. The 3 artists I collect the most is Campbell, Ramos, Madureira. And I mean, those are going to be the most similar you can get. But if you look, like, their styles are so different from each other. But I just love the animated feel to them. Man,
I loved J. Scott Campbell's Gen 13 run. Oh, the art was amazing.
You'll appreciate this one.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh wow! I knew you were a fan of his, and I have to say, obviously, with your own style, you can see that he's an influence on you.
He was a huge influence. Again, along with like Jim Lee, and I take different things from these guys. I'm still influenced by Campbell. I always try and like one up. Okay, he's gonna do this, and I'll message him like, all right, now I'm gonna try and do better than that. But
right.
I've definitely grown to, my own style, but I still learn from him because he's one of the most business savvy artists you're gonna find.
Yep.
In the industry, you got Campbell, McFarlane, Jim Lee. There's a handful of guys that really nailed the whole. I'm gonna draw my entire career, but I'm gonna make it work for me. I'm gonna be a businessman as well. And
Have
that's
you?
what I take from a lot of these guys now is, okay, they're great artists, but even better businessman.
It's funny. I mentioned this to another guest that I think one of the downfall of artists is that they don't learn the business management part of things, and I think it hurts them, and they don't realize it. I mean, look, I'm not knocking
Yeah.
agents or reps. There's a need for them, but if artists took a little more of the reins on their own marketing, their own business, I think it would do wonders for them. I mean, because think about it, you're not giving your percentage to somebody else; it's staying in your pocket.
Right. And that's what, I mean, my wife takes care of all that stuff.
Yeah, the
Everybody, I've,
smaller
I've
ones
had
marry their
multiple people,
agent.
say that, yeah, I've had so many people say that they can do all sorts of things for me. And I'm like, you can't do anything for me that my wife doesn't already. And, that money stays in house.
And your wife works hard.
Most of the agents I ever knew. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. And she actually, she does the shipping, she does invoices, she
Mm-hmm.
answers messages. We've gotten so busy where it's like I forget things. I'm like, don't talk to me. Talk to Shannon, because if I'll 100% forget this conversation happened in an hour.
Well, I know you forgot what time the show was 3 times.
No, no, no. I because some people talk to me in your time zone and other people talk to me in my time zone. So I always get confused on did this guy remember that I'm in Kansas, or is he, when he says 8:30, is he talking my 7:30?
Right.
Because I've gotten doing all these live shows and live cover reveals and stuff. I've had people like, "Hey man, it's midnight." I'm like, "Well, it's midnight for you, but it's not midnight for me. So which midnight are you talking about?"
Right. Yeah, I'm your future.
So I didn't forget. I'm just not time savvy.
Speaking of not time savvy, we have Steve Garcia. Hey, Steve. He was asking how you were talking about Shannon helping you and everything, but he was curious to your work schedule. How do you balance it out with the family and other life events?
I haven't slept in 4 years. I bounce around a lot, to be honest. I kind of figure out what needs to be done each day. And Shannon's the same way. Like today, I actually started comic book hunting,
I saw your
just to
post.
see what
You
it
got
was,
some
because
good
I've
grabs.
never really done that. Yeah, and people, are always like, man, I got to go dollar bin diving. And I'm like, what the hell? Who does that? So I went and tried it out.
It's fun. It's addicting.
Um, Yeah, and I went and did it, and this guy, like, he was there, and he was digging through his pile and taught me about the app that they have that you can download to your phone, so you don't pick the wrong one that you already have. So it was cool, but we knew we were going to do that. So balancing things, like, again today, okay, this is what we're going to go do. So I need to get 20 remarks done and this new Hardly Thin cover that I had to finish. So all right, let's do this and let's do that. That's basically how my everyday is. What needs to be done today, what needs to be done first.
Between
And
bringing
then
your
I
son
play
to
dad and
football and karate and everything else, right?
right, right. Yeah, oh yeah. Like I just started agreeing with Shannon on taking days where I don't draw anything. Um, and I don't answer like business, because there was, when COVID hit, we literally, not knowing what was going to happen with us, I just hit the pavement and was drawing every single day and hustling and pushing and
Right.
selling and whatever I could. For 7 days, for months. So she's like, you need to slow down. So now on the weekends we don't do a lot. We do family time. We go hang out with friends, social distancingly. Don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
Um,
Wear the
it's a
mask.
touchy subject.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Oh
not gonna
yeah.
go
Always.
there.
Masks are there. Touchy subject. But it's hard. It's a balancing act. I guess I've been doing it long enough, working in between trying to become an artist, that I've kind of just got the hang of, let's do what we got to do on the days we got to do it. I know some guys that they've called me for the same questions, like, how do we do this? How do we do that? Like, well, figure out what your top priorities are and put those first, and then finish those, and then the next day, whatever was not top is now the top.
Right. When you get art fatigue, like you mentioned earlier, do you have any tips that you use or can you share any tips with artists on how to get your mojo back, your groove when you really just don't feel like drawing, whether it's a certain character or drawing at all?
So that's when you know you've made it. That's when you know you a pro. When you know you really don't want to draw this freaking thing, but you have to today. I will take breaks when my mind just goes numb. I'll draw something else.
Okay.
I'll start a project that I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start doing this. I'm just gonna work on, a new print or character design, something fun, and it's usually always something cartoony for me because it's more fluid. There's not craziness to it, and I just stop. I just start working on something else, and then after X amount of time, you're like, all right, I got to get back to it when your mind's a little more clear. All right, I can get this much further done. Hopefully, you don't run into that very often, because then you're definitely struggling with this is not fun anymore. It's more of a job than fun. I don't have to do that all the time. Only every once in a while is it like, oh shit, now I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to.
Wade King, he's going to be a guest actually in a couple of months. He's an artist, and he asked, any tips for new artists trying to get noticed in this Corona, no convention climate for getting cover work with indie and larger companies?
Put yourself out, just like what we're doing here with Phil. Start a live stream, draw. Don't be afraid to just keep hustling for it. I mean, knock on people's doors. Now, like digitally knock on their door. Don't go to their door because then you'll instantly get fired. Yeah. Right now, I always say the biggest thing for people is to make your online presence strong. Do something different than what everybody else is doing. I've done dozens of online shows, and like Phil was saying, like most people just stand in front of the camera and talk to Phil instead of drawing or something
I'm
else.
interesting.
What's that?
Well, I'm interesting. Can you blame him? I'm also very handsome.
Well, no, I mean I'll sit and stare at you, but
Yeah.
people can't see that part. All they see is me drawing. They don't see that my phone is right in front of me and I'm staring at your Star Wars shirt the whole time.
Yeah. That's funny. Gallo.
The people that come on.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say that I think a lot of the times the people that come on Shannon and I's live feed is because we keep everything pretty real. We don't really hide much. They hear the drama, they see the drama. Dogs barking, some of them choking themselves, kids doing kick flips in the living room, and we give stuff away. We'll give slabs away. We give comics away. You got to try and keep things fun in this time, and you do that, and people will definitely know who you are. And when people know who you are, is when you're going to start getting some work,
Right.
especially right now.
Gallo was asking, do you cherish any of the old school artists like Wally Wood, Al Williamson, Hal Foster, Frazetta?
I've never heard of a single one of those people.
Well, you never heard of Frazetta?
Who?
Frank Frazetta?
No, I've never heard of him. Who's that?
Oh, wow. Okay. He's. You ever see
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was going to say, wait a minute.
No, I love Frazetta. His stuff is crazy. I've seen some inch square drawings that it sold for like $20,000-$30,000, but they're so detailed. I'm like, yeah, I can see why. Frazetta's great. I I always loved like Boris Vallejo and Olivia and all them. Like they do some crazy stuff.
Is there any artist, celebrity that you've never met that you would love to meet someday, or you'd be a big fanboy in front of?
I fanboy in front of Campbell all the time.
I'd love to see that.
I mean, we've gone out to dinner, and yeah, we've gone out to dinner and stuff, and I still will fanboy at him.
Good. Tell him to do my
He
show.
knows it. Like he gives me.
Good. Tell him to do my show, and tell Scotty too, because Megan said they couldn't make the show.
Scotty Young.
Yeah.
I think they deal with me. I don't. They're not gonna listen to me. They just deal with me.
Well, try to Jedi mind trick him or something.
Yeah. Scotty is very stay at home, especially during this.
Yeah.
He's very. No one's coming to hang out. He's very much. I'm staying at home. So I can't get close enough to do the Jedi mind trick.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I invited them on the Q&A, and they were polite and declined. But they're very nice people. So I'm a persistent, annoying Irishman. You know that.
Yeah.
Don't agree so quickly there, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm Scottish Irish. I know how this works.
Sorry. So Steve Garcia said, did I hear incorrectly, or did Ryan say he was interested in the animation route early on? If so, in what capacity was he thinking of, and what changed his direction to comics instead? And it's funny because I was going to mention Steve before, because Steve's got an impressive resume himself. But that's a show for another day, right, Steve? So
I'm trying to think of how I can answer that. It was I think at the time when I wanted to do animation, I loved Peter Pan, the Sorcerer's Stone, the classic animation. And when I was starting to get older and look at colleges and stuff, that field was dying. The hand-drawn cells and all that stuff. Everything was going digital. Everything was going overseas. Everything was turning Pixar. I was actually told by other artists in the industry that it's, unless you're going for like storyboard animation or something like that, it's hard. It's almost pointless to go to school to do this when the industry on that side was dying.
right.
And then I met some guys that were like, yo, you should do comic books. And one of them was Campbell, and the other one was Penosian. So I tried. I started, going from cartoony to comics. If you look at my very first, like, comic work, sketch cards and stuff like that, I mean, they were completely simple cartoon style. It wasn't for years until I started, like, actually studying what the crap I was getting myself into.
Have you done a lot of sequential work, or how did you work on that? Getting the storytelling aspect of art.
So I knew to do Marvel and DC, you had to do sequentials.
Right.
Now I'd spent eight years in the industry without ever having to do sequentials. I knew doing DC and Marvel, they were like, you have to do sequentials, and they gave me scripts to practice.
Right.
I had those books. Like, I had the comic books that they gave me the scripts of. So remember when you were in school and they'd be like, you guys need to do, your math homework is chapter blah, 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 numbers blah, 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 blah. And you could go in the back of the book and it had every, like, odd answer to make sure you were doing that shit right. Well, that's how I felt with the test scripts they gave me, because I could see it. I would go back and look, like, okay, this is Avengers by Ed McGuinness. How did he do this panel? and then it would come out looking like how he did it. So that's when I actually came up with persuasion of doing that, and I wrote my own book, and I drew my own book. And the first one was good. Like Marvel and the DC editors thought it was good. It wasn't great, but they thought it was good. And now I'm on my third book, and I think I've progressed because everybody like loves the art in it, and I can at least pat my own back. Like I was drawing at the airport, and Capullo saw it and thought I was doing a good job. So if he thought I wasn't screwing up, I guess I'm doing something right.
Nice. Do you have the next issue coming out anytime soon?
Chapter 2 for Persuasion just ended the Kickstarter not too long ago. I'm halfway done with Chapter 3, drawing it. It's Chapter 3 and 4 are already written.
Nice.
I'm writing the series and drawing the series, so it's a little slow process, but I get to work with a lot of cool people. E.G. Curry did a cover for me this time. Ebass has done a cover for me this time. Kale, New, Francisco Herrera did a cover.
Nice.
Like we we've had some fun, and part of it was so as you were saying, the exclusive covers. That's really a big part of the game right now, especially at cons, as you know.
Yep.
I don't have the funding to do a Marvel cover on my own or a DC cover on my own and pay $15,000 for 5,000 books. Like I'm never going to get rid of 5,000 books.
Right. Which we might get to that.
So creating our own property. Yeah, one day. Yeah, maybe, you never know. Here's the hoping. Creating our own property like Jamie Tyndall did with like White Widow. Yeah. And seeing Zenescope and some of these other guys like completely destroy comic convention sales by doing, C2E2 exclusive cover for White Widow or C2E2 exclusive for Zenescope, we'll say. I thought to myself, well, shit, if I can actually get Persuasion out there and all my friends are on it, I can be like, yo, if you're doing this con, then do an exclusive cover for yourself, pay for the print run, and make some money. Like it's about time the artists make some money.
Right.
So that's kind of what we've been doing for the last like 5 months, is creating content that me and my friends can draw and do covers for ourselves and make our own money.
And you had a New York Comic Con exclusive cover, didn't you?
I did. I had a Tess New York exclusive for Persuasion. I had a lot of covers planned out for this year, but clearly 2021 gave all of us a big FU.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll have time to get more work out there that you'll have, plenty to offer people, And I think,
right.
And I've said this before, I think this, not that the situation is a good situation, but as far as the conventions being on hiatus, I was starting to think that, the bubble was bursting. A lot of attendance was down on many shows. And I think there's going to be a real hunger for them once they're coming back. So I think we're going to see a real resurgence of fans coming out in droves to these conventions once it's safe and everybody feels comfortable. And, you'll just have all that product to give them, to sell them.
I don't see, here's the thing, on an artist side, on my side. So the last few years I've done conventions, we've noticed, yes, that the attendance has dwindled. The attention to artists, unless you're on the hottest book at the moment, has dwindled. Artists have become, like, for the most part, a third or fourth thought. We're like the impulse buy at a supermarket.
Right.
Like, oh, that looks cool, I'll take it. Like, no one's really searching for us at cons anymore. It's I want the pop, I want the exclusive cover, I want the exclusive shirt or exclusive action figure, and I want to go get those celebrities' autographs.
Right.
Oh, but look, that guy has a cool drawing of Spider-Man, so I'll pick that up.
Right, and usually they just looking to do the print.
Right. I think what COVID has taught most artists that have branched out is we don't need cons anymore. As an artist, we don't need them. We need them for the social interaction, but financially, I think you've seen a lot of these guys realize that doing live streams from your office, those are actually your fans coming to see you, not just
Right.
random people that are like, oh, what's that? Oh, I'll buy one of those. And you never hear from them or see them again.
Right.
Whereas when you do a live stream, those people are actively like they're coming to see you because that's it. Unless they come to hear my wife yell at me, they're here to get some stuff. And they love when my wife berates. That's what they call it, is the berating hour with Shannon.
Now you remember when you shut
but
off
I
you got to go home to her.
Oh no, if you stick around on a Tuesday or Thursday, you'll catch it. You'll see it. Yeah. I'm waiting for one of the guys to chime in here that they know. They heard it. They don't like getting on Shannon's bad
I've heard
side.
it. Look, when I met her, she was
Yeah.
very sweet, very kind. But yeah, I've seen you get under her skin.
Oh yes, absolutely.
But you know what? That's
so
all.
I think cons. Yes, I think cons will. I think they're going to have their own battle. To be honest with you, I think you're going to see attendance rise to a point, but I think you're going to see a complete change in Artist Alley.
Yeah, I mean, not to. I'm sorry. I'm going to disagree, and this is why I think why, because let's face it, fans right now, people were spending a lot of money they didn't have because they're bored and at home and they can't go out. Once life opens up and they have options, they may not be spending as much on these live feeds again because they're not trapped at home, but they are going to be out at the con wanting to meet Ryan Kincaid in person, get the signature in person, have the story in person. And when that attendance comes, of course you guys are going to want to be there. I mean, you know what, though? Either way, I want artists to succeed. That's why I do this. And, my show
yeah, without
have celebrities.
Right.
My show doesn't have celebrities.
We'll see.
You are.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. I don't know about celebrity, but we have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, regardless, I hope, I'm not going to stop doing shows. Me and my wife have discussed that we're going to limit our shows now.
Right.
I'm not going to be doing 30 shows a year anymore.
Well, it's expensive. There's a lot of.
But we will definitely be able to. Yeah, and that's the other thing is if these guys can make the same amount of money at home and not have the overhead, what would you do?
Right. Absolutely.
And again, I hope that cons go back to a normal. I just don't see it for a while.
Well, I don't think it's going to be
part of the thing that the art. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, even when things are allowed to open up, I think it's going to be a while before a lot of big artists start popping in. And I mean, you're always going to have a handful of us show up, but I mean, like a C2E2 event where there's 100 great published artists in one room, I think is going to start to get scarce. Only because these guys know they can make that money at a show at home instead of paying $2,000 to go to a con, because some cons, New York costs us $2,000-$3,000 just to show up before we even walk through the door.
Right.
And there's artists. If you're one of those big heavy hitting artists with an art rep, you're getting paid to be at a con now.
Oh, who are you telling? I'm a promoter.
So, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of guys like, hey, if I'm not getting paid to be there and it's not, this size show, we're just not going to go.
By the way, Mark Torres just came up with an awesome tagline that I'm going to have to pay him for, I think. Creatorcon, where the artists are the draw.
What's that?
He wrote Creatorcon, where the artists are the draw. I'm going to have to pay him, apparently, because that is pretty damn good.
That's pretty slick. Yeah, you better pay him now.
Mark Torres is going to be my marketing manager. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that was a slick one.
And you're not going to turn me down, or I'll be at your front door like you suggested not to be. I'll be banging. I'll be like Stewie, knock, 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 or what's his name, Sheldon, knock, 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 Ryan, knock, 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 Ryan,
Sheldon. Yeah, knock, knock.
Ryan.
Well, see, that's what we see. That's the part where Shannon and I have come in and agreed that, you know, we're not going to go to just any show that it could be a financial gain or loss or whatever. We're going to go to shows that we can actually enjoy, have fun
Right.
with the promoters, have fun with the other guests, have fun with the attendees.
Yeah,
It's hard to have fun when you spend $1,000 and the whole time you're looking at trying to at least make that back. You're like, buy
right.
something.
It's stressful, I know. Well, you know, I feel bad that I wound up not taking you and Marat to the airport. I was so out of it. So it was Uber time.
Oh man, that was a long day. You're all right, man. That was a long day for you.
Oh, you have no idea. But I mean, I run the show by myself. I mean, I have some staff at the day of the show, but I do it all myself. So I was exhausted. But I wanted to hang out with you and Marat. So sorry it didn't happen. But
it's all right, man. We had a great time with Sinclair and it was what was it? It was me and
Scott,
Sinclair and
Scott Williams.
Garza and Scott Williams. We all went to dinner. We had a great time. You missed out on that, but we had a great time.
Well, I missed out on that because I was busy closing down shop.
I was gonna say, I think you were still at the con when we were eating dinner.
Oh yeah, I was there a while. But you know what? It's a passion. You know, I mean, you guys draw 12 hours a day. You put your work in. I put my work in. And it's what we love. It's why we do it. And
right.
Mark Torres again. He's talking about Red Lobster and Shake Shack. Geraldo Borges was on, and he said that he's a friend of mine, and I'm going to take him to dinner when he comes from Brazil. And he said he loves Red Lobster. So now the running joke is we're all going to go Red Lobster.
Yeah, that's okay. Red Lobster is great. As long as you're at a good area for good Red Lobsters.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, are you open for commissions for people right
now? So I haven't done commissions in a while. There's just so much craziness going on. The best way to get anything from me is watching our live shows, and we auction off basically everything I draw, unless I send it out to CGC. Yeah, this will end up probably getting auctioned off Tuesday night, maybe. So let me grab an example of what we do, and I'll show these guys.
And by the way, everybody, as you can see on the ticker scrolling below, you can get all of his website, his Instagram, and his Facebook. So you can follow if you aren't already, and check out his live shows. They are fun. It's great to see him draw live. Sometimes I know some shows can be a little boring. His are fun. Like you said, you even get a little of the Brady Bunch flavor when the dogs are barking and jumping on furniture and his kids are running around. It's fun.
Oh, it's always the kids. It's either the kids or the dog.
Yeah.
So I don't do commissions anymore, just because I there's always something that pops up, and I always feel bad if I take longer than a week or two to get someone's commission.
Wow, really?
My anxiety was going.
There's artists that wait 6 months to a year and they don't even bat an eye.
Oh no! My anxiety. I mean, I've had some take 6 months, but my anxiety goes nuts the entire time because I don't like having that hanging over my head. So we decided on a cool game that Phil has seen, and this is the second board we've done. So everybody on Facebook, I'll put a post, and they kind of just give us a list of characters, just random people, as you can tell.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get you the bigger screen there.
No, you're okay. So either myself or my kids or my wife, one of us will, we shoot a little dart, and whatever basically it lands on, that's all these scratches off, is what we draw. And we auction them off at the end of the night. So I'll usually do 3 or 4 of them during the day, and I'll do one or two of them live.
Mm-hmm.
And they either get auctioned off, or if I get too tired because it's late at night, and I forget to do it, we send them into CGC or CBCS.
Nice.
So like we actually just got these back today. That's one that we did, and we just didn't auction it off.
And when's your next live?
There's one. The next live is probably going to be this coming Tuesday for
And that's on your
like
Facebook.
this.
And that's on your Facebook, right?
Yeah. It's just on my Facebook. Or if you're part of the Artist Alley Network, I'm on there on Mondays, like Monday evening-ish. Yeah, we do a bunch of these, and then they get auctioned. Or I keep them for as long as Shannon lets me keep them before she sells them. Because she'll do live sales every couple months.
Have you ever drawn any? Have you ever drawn something that you got attached to and didn't want to sell or get rid of?
I still have the pencils for my very first Batman Superman cover.
Nice.
That Magneto I just saw, that's not going anywhere. That's staying with me. The Age of Apocalypse Magneto is one of my favorite designs. So yeah, every once in a while I get one that I really like, and I keep it.
There we go. That's a little better. Nice close up on what you're doing. Do you collect art yourself? Like, there are artists that commission to get art from, or do trades with?
I used to try and trade with as many as I can. During cons, we would trade some stuff.
We lost your sound. Sorry, everybody.
What's that?
There you go. We couldn't hear anything from you. Just a little fidgeting.
Oh, okay.
So you don't do it
because
anymore?
My camera arm just went nuts on me.
It decided to do what Shannon does sometimes, backslap you, right?
Yeah, exactly. The camera just wants to beat me. I didn't hear the last part. Is there any artists that I trade with?
Yeah, that you would still commission or get art from?
So the new thing that I've been doing is, for Persuasion, is I've been hiring artists that I really enjoy their work and attempting to buy the original cover from them. So it's a double whammy, you know. I got an original piece of work from like Francisco Herrera, but it's also on my own comic book cover.
Very nice.
I did that with Chad Hardin. I did that with DeBalfo. Elias Shantunas, Sor Sung. Who will?
Mike DeBalfo, Sor Sung, and Chad Harding will all be on the show too.
Oh yeah. I have originals from them for Persuasion, for my comic. So
nice.
It's a little easier for me to explain why I'm spending, $2,000 on artwork when I can say it's for Persuasion.
Careful now, she's listening.
No, she agrees to him. I get her permission.
That's good. So this is a question I ask everyone as my last question before we take a few more from the fans. If you could go back in time to when you were first starting out in the industry, what advice would you give yourself?
Don't be so scared, because I was afraid to make the leap of being, a pro, trying to go pro at least for a long time, for years. I would most definitely tell myself to just chill the hell out.
Okay.
And have fun with it. I've always had fun, but in the beginning it was like stressful, because again, before you take that leap into being the pro, you're trying to figure out A, are you good enough? B, can you financially do it? C, are you really good enough? And D, everybody else is going to determine if you're good enough. So it's always in the back of your head. I wish I would have just kind of went for it and just let it all play out like it was supposed to play out.
Well, it seems like it's playing out the way it's supposed to play out now. I mean, you're doing very well. You're successful. You just keep plugging along and doing the grind, like you said. And I'm glad that you've been successful so far. You're a good guy.
I try, and I appreciate it. It does a little bit of internal damage to you when you start getting, heartburn and anxiety attacks and stuff because, oh my God, what am I doing? That was the other thing that I hated about conventions, is if you had a slow convention and you were, not selling or talking to anybody, it legitimately makes you question why you're doing what you're doing.
See,
what am I doing with my life? Why am I here?
That is interesting. That's a very honest answer that I've never really thought about that from that aspect of why, it would bother someone. Sometimes you tend to think it's an ego thing where you're like pissed off people should be all over me, where you're saying it's a confidence thing where you start to doubt yourself. That's interesting.
Yes. Oh, without a doubt. Like I mean, whether they admit it or not, most artists, especially, guys that are like me that are still trying to make your mark, when you go to a show that's slow, or you see you're the slow one for whatever reason, it definitely like shakes your confidence. You're like, am I doing something wrong? Should I be doing something different? Like maybe my work is not where it should be. It definitely, plays mind games on you. I dealt with that for a long time, trying to figure out, like, again, every once in a while you just had those, what the hell am I doing with my life? Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Till I finally realized, like, it's just the way the convention circuit is right now. Like I said, for a long time, comic artists were impulse buy. They're the third thought. When you're at a Comic Con and people are asking you, well, what do you do here? Then like, a Comic Con is not the way a Comic Con should be.
Right. Well, I think a lot of them have gone more pop culture, like you said, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but as an art fan,
No.
I do see how it affects Artist Alley and artists and how it really changes the dynamic of what used to be a comic book convention. So that's true.
Right. Once you realize that, then you're okay. But until you get to that point, like I said, dude, man, I had a hard time with that part, that confidence, and I would have anxiety attacks. Like, again, like, why am I so slow? It messes with you. People don't understand it, but man, it messes with you.
And I mean, are you still like that at times if you have a slow con, or have you gotten to the point where you just understand what's going on? And
every once in a while, I still have those moments where I'm like, okay, well, now I really don't understand, like, why, why am I having a slow show, especially if it was like a big show. And you're like, well, why is this going on now? But I mean, it happens. It happens to everybody. I've gotten to the point now where I just try and have fun. Like, regardless of how the show is going,
right.
if the show is slow, I get up and walk around and go see my friends or go buy some stuff from somebody else.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've seen
I'll go spend money.
Have slow times. It's just the way that the game's played once in a while. How the con goes.
Yeah, I've gone to shows where Jock had 0 people at his table. Jock was just standing there, twiddling his thumbs, and I was like, okay, well, if he has bad days, then to hell with what I'm complaining about.
Well, and it's funny too because everything is relative. Like you could be Jim Lee, but if you're not a comic fan and you go to a pop culture show that has a bunch of TV artists, they don't know who Jim Lee is. He may be a god in the comic industry. He's Morgan Freeman in our industry, but he's not anybody to the person who, is into, Deep Space Nine or whatever going on out there. So, that's part of it too.
Right. Exactly.
So, I actually did forget to ask.
Now I just have fun. I mean, Chicago was slow. I mean, C2E2 was
Really?
at the real like the brim of the pandemic. Well, you probably had
That's
a
right.
third of the
Yeah.
attendance because that was when
Right.
COVID had just hit. And
Right.
me and Marat just kind of went and hung out. Like we just started buying stuff from other people's tables. We'd go for walks. We'd go see what everybody else was doing too. At that point, we didn't let it get to us.
Right. Yeah. How often do you get to really see Marat face to face? So, and just make the best of it.
For me, all the time.
Oh, do you? Because he's over in Arizona
Yeah, I.
for the signings and stuff.
Yeah, we've traveled. Yeah, we've done some things during this. We did an event in Arizona where it was just me, him, like Mike DeBalfo, goofing off drawing and whatnot.
Mike's a really nice guy.
And we
too,
talk.
by the way.
Yeah, we talk like every other day as it is anyway. So.
Yeah, Mike DeBalfo is a really nice guy, and I got to tell you, Marat has been really cool with me. He's done a lot of nice things. I mean, honestly, that whole crew that you run with, I have nothing but great things to say about you guys. So, you know, and gals. Sora is pretty cool too.
We're the cool kids on the block.
Yes, you are, and you've got your strong following.
I don't know why Mark Torres is telling me to draw more pandas, and I don't know why. I can't draw pandas. That's a lot of white.
That's a joke from the last show. I you know what, I didn't ask you this. We got wrapped up in everything else, but I also often ask, what was the strangest commission you've ever been, you know, asked to draw? And it was a really silly. It was I forgot what character, but fornicating with a panda. So he's just making it to the last show. Mark is the comedic relief, and he is funny, by the way, but he's the comedic relief in the chat room.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm reading some of his stuff. Yeah, C2E2 was packed. But if you look at like the attendance was definitely down. And there was definitely slow, empty rows in the artist alley. But again, man, it doesn't matter what show you're at. It could be 100,000 person show. It could be a 1,000 person show. 1,000 person show, you can make more money and have more fun than 100,000 person show. Every single show is a gamble. So I've learned to just go and have fun.
Well, what people don't understand is you could have 100,000 people show up to a show, but only 500 of them are into comics. The rest are into all the other pop culture. So you have 500 people going around an artist alley of 50, 60 artists. Then you could come to a small show, you know, small show in Creatorcon, and the 2,000 people that show up are all coming to you. They're all coming to you.
Exactly.
And so, you know, the number itself, it's the demographic that is important, not the number, is what I keep telling people.
Right. I'm with you on that 100%.
So
I've had a show. I mean, even at your show when we did your show, one guy came up and he bought like 7 originals from me.
Nice.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at every show. So.
Well, these are people that know who you are, and they came purposely, because when do we get to see Ryan Kincaid other than the expensive New York Comic Con? You know, so for them it's a treat.
Right, especially out in Long Island, Brookstone, Long Island, where it's a 45-minute drive to the airport.
Yeah, exactly. More than that, it was like an hour and 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly,
I'm flying into Islip next time.
Yeah, you know, I thought I mentioned that to you, but you know what it is because Islip you'll only be able to do a carryover, a holdover. You have to do a second flight, so that's why most people don't want to go to Islip. So, but my next show.
I'm definitely not that guy. I'll do it.
My next show is going to be 2 days, so hopefully we'll get to, you know, after the first day of the Saturday night, I'll be able to join you guys for dinner. Assuming you come back.
There you go.
For now.
That's right. That's all assuming that we're allowed to travel again.
Oh, we'll go back to normal. Our society, our culture, our civilization has been through a lot. I mean, it may take time. I think the biggest hurdle will be.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like when we can do it. I'm not saying that we're not going to. It's just a matter of when we can do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
my
mean,
show
I already have
for
shows
a
that are
while.
booking me for next year.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm purposely on hiatus for a while because I don't see the sense in doing the show, making people uneasy. I don't want to be any part of feeling unsafe or even, God forbid, getting a lot of people sick. It doesn't make sense. I'm patient. I have 3 jobs, quite a few, and
Right.
I'll wait. By the way, I meant to ask you. You had a Kickstarter
Um,
last year for a sketchbook. Are you going to do another sketchbook?
oh yes, we are. Well, I think we are. We're looking into doing a U.S. company to do another like 100-page hardcover book.
Awesome.
Um,
Best sketchbook.
I've probably done about 100 of these things since quarantine started. So we were gonna do a book of all the combined like covers over the last year since the last art book, plus the best ones of all these that we've done. So we're gonna do another one. I'm just not sure when. Maybe in like the next month or two.
Can anybody still get that
Uh,
sketchbook, or is that all sold out at this point?
they will be available on the website soon. We're going through the website now and taking off old inventory and putting up some new inventory, um, along with the art book that we've never actually sold online. So that the first one will be available online soon.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out this new camera. So it's scrolling on the bottom, www.ryanmkincaid.com. What's the M for?
Michael,
Mike. Oh, it's got the
majestic
name.
man.
What's that?
It's for majestic, magical,
Oh, yeah.
masculine, or just Michael.
Yeah, same middle name as me, except
I
for me, it's
see.
more like meaty.
Yeah, I see. Chris Mad said thank you for the covers for No Heroin. Man, those were fun. The No Heroin books were fun. And just wait till you see what I have coming from Source Press soon. I got some stuff for their new projects coming out.
Nothing you can mention now, though, right?
The No Heroin, they did one for the San Diego Comic Con online, and then I just did another one that's for issue 2, I believe.
Right.
The new stuff I'm working on for Source Press. Um, I don't know if anyone even knows the title, so I'm not gonna be the one to blurt it out. But I love those guys, man. I see a project that they're working on, and I literally hit up the writer and show them an idea I had, and they're like, "Yeah, dude, that's great. Go for it. Draw it. Like, let's have it." Like I don't. It just hits to where it looks fun, and I want to do it. Like the Warcorns books. I just came up with all the ideas I've had for the Warcorns covers, and hit Garrett up and was like, "Dude, let me do this. I'll do it for free."
Nice.
Don't mess with me, Ace. I see Ace's comment on there.
Dude,
You gotta
Ace,
watch out for that dude. He's crazy.
listen, he is funny as hell. He's always been good to me, so I can't say nothing bad. I don't know him like you and Sajad and Adele.
Has he done your show yet?
No, he can't. Man, he turned me down twice. You hear that, Ace? You turned me down twice. You will come to my show, damn it.
Okay. No, I mean, has he done the live Q&A for you yet?
No, but he's on. I forget when he's on, but he'll be on.
Okay, Ace, I'm gonna leave it to you to go ahead and tell the San Diego Comic-Con story with the guy in the underwear.
Oh, interesting. Well, why don't you give us your take?
Yeah,
And
this
we
is
can
why I
get
say
his
you
take.
have to watch it. No, my take is Ace set me up and it was messed up and it was completely funny. But I'm gonna get you back one of these years.
Wait, do me a favor, Ryan. When
Yeah.
conventions come back, if you're both at my show, get him back at my show, and I want to film it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because that's gonna happen. Payback's gonna happen, Ace. I promise you.
He's a good guy. I got to say,
He is.
I've met some interesting people, but most of the people I meet are really cool, really good people. So, oh, Mark has a
And then you
serious
meet
question.
people like me.
Nah, you were cool from the start, man. You were real cool from the start. You didn't know me from Adam. It was a new show out of nowhere. It was a one day. And look, I'm a realist, okay? It doesn't matter if you feel the show is going to be worth it or not. I'm lazy when my wife asks me to go around the corner of the store, and I'm asking you to fly across half the country for a one-day show. And you were cool, man. You were like, absolutely, you came out. I hope it was worth it to you, but you've always been cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. Let me see. Mark's serious question.
Yeah,
Have I ever drawn a cover more than once? I have done that once. One time. And I'm about to do it maybe a second time. Because somebody wants the original. And I have to redo the cover because the cover got delayed anyways. And in my madness of the house, the original has disappeared.
Oh, shoot.
So I have to get the cover done to get to the publisher anyway. So I'm gonna have to redraw it.
Oh, man. By the way, Ace is sucking up.
I mean,
now.
it happens.
He's afraid. Ace is sucking up now.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't suggest anyone doing it twice, but it happens. Guy in the underwear, are you talking about me? Nope, Jacob. I don't think that was you. I don't think you were wearing anything like that running around San Diego.
Maybe he was commando.
But that would definitely be funny. That would definitely be funny if Jacob was wearing that outfit.
So anybody have any other questions for Ryan as we wrap things up? By the way, that looks fantastic. I just love the way you use the markers to do the shading and the lighting on the masks and the features of the face.
Oh, thanks, man.
Awesome.
Batman's always weird. I always try and figure out how I'm going to do it.
To me, the key is his temple area and around his eye, and it's just awesome how you did that. You can see the texture of the mask and how it fits over his facial structure. So that's pretty damn good, man.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
I used to hate drawing Batman.
Really? Everybody seems to love it. No questions? Everybody's quiet? Ace, you don't want to make amends before you get roasted at my next show? Anybody?
Oh, this is not going to get roasted. This is going to be this is a personal vendetta. He's going to have some physical crap happen to him.
Oh, I got to be there.
And it's going to be funny.
I've got to be there to see you, please. Enrique said, thanks, bud.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, so anybody have any questions, anything? In the meantime, look, Artist Alley.
Yeah, go. You can follow me on my page and see our live feeds, or I go on the Artist Alley Shopping Network. If you join that group, you can catch me once a week on that. And that's a good place to catch some artists doing live sales and deals and stuff. I know Jason Metcalf's on there too.
Yeah, he'll be a guest next Friday. I know Jason.
Yep, I saw that.
He does all the layouts for my my jam. He does every single one. What you see behind, he does all of them. So he's an awesome dude. I was acquired taste for him.
You were acquired taste for him?
Yeah, because I'm a loudmouth Irishman, and Jason, he's a funny guy, has a great personality, but he's a little more reserved than what I put out there. So
he definitely is very much so.
He had to get a little used to me first.
He's definitely a little more reserved.
I think I warmed down.
Oh, see, Ace is.
Oh, he's
bringing it on. He's yeah. He knows exactly what's up.
Oh man, please, you guys, got to get him at my show, Ryan. I want to see it happen there. I mean, I'm gonna have a live YouTube. You can get him publicly. Sorry, Ace. I know. I'll be on your side when you're on the show, Ace. And if
Benedict Arnold.
Yeah, listen, I'm just, I'm on the fence, man. I'm playing both sides. If anybody,
you got it. It's okay. It's okay.
If anybody likes this piece, like he said, he should be auctioning it off probably on his Tuesday night feed on his page. Feel free to go over there if you want to purchase it. Plus, like you saw, he has whole stacks of other art. And, of course, go to his website, scrolling right on the bottom here, www.ryanmkincaid.com. Instagram is at
M for
Ryan
Majestic.
_Kincaid. Facebook is Ryan Kincaid. Oh, here's a question. Do you ever get tired of drawing women, or is it your favorite thing to draw?
I get tired of drawing women all the time. It's fun when I can do what I want to do, which Jacob knows because I keep telling him, or I've told him that I want to draw his new cover. Everybody wants it the same way all the time. Like, just draw the girl, pin-up pose, 3/4 shot, give her a sexy look. Like, it would be fun if somebody was like, here, just draw Rogue. Go, ready, go. Do what you want, but draw Rogue. Okay.
By the way, Jacob, if you have anything you want to throw links for in the chat, go ahead, man. Ace decided he's really poking the bear.
He is. I see it.
He's poking the bear. We're all witnessing this.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Oh, man.
The next time I'm in Long Island, shit's about to get real.
I can't wait to be the host of that. By the way, Ace has his sketchbook out now, which is really, really good. I love his work. And he does a headshot at the end of the sketchbook. And if you're not aware of his art, go follow him. He's awesome. Love his work.
Ace is awesome. He keeps turning me down to do a cover for Persuasion, so.
Oh, does he get
have to tag him twice?
I'm so busy. I don't have time.
He's too busy for the likes of me. It might help if I actually asked him more than once. I think I only mentioned it once, though.
Jacob, share. Good, man. Share.
We forget who we harass.
What's that?
Yep, see, that's the one that I want to do. I want to do the Rhino Boom.
Well, I'm just going to show it real quick if you don't mind. I like to help everybody if I can. So I don't mean to steal your thunder while you're the guest. I apologize, but
no, dude, you're all good. Rhino Boom needs some love.
Jacob, I'm booked till December, but maybe we can make a special date if you want to come on and plug your Kickstarter. Gallo has a question he asked before we didn't get to. If you could go back in time to Marvel's Silver Age and Stanley asked you which title would you like to take over for Jack Kirby, what would it be? Remember, it's the Marvel method, so you're the showman.
Oh, Spider-Man, without a doubt. Especially if it was like the Silver Age, where it was, the story started on page 1 and it actually ended on page 22.
Yeah.
I would love to do Spider-Man, where the rogues were first getting introduced and whatnot. Spider-Man, 100%.
Exciting times. Yeah. So Ace is really poking the bear. Man. Ace, when you're my guest, you never know what Ryan is going to do while you're on. Be careful.
Oh, Ace knows me too well. He knows I won't tease him too much. But I will ask him for a cover again.
Jacob, if I knew you wanted to draw a cover, I would have snagged you for a cover before I launched. I'll get you for the next one.
I'm game, Jacob. I told you I'm game. I like cool characters like that.
Look at this.
Something
I'm like
different, something fun, something new.
I'm like the love connection for artists. This is wonderful.
This is what happens, man. When you get artists on live stuff, we like to screw with each other. And then at the end of it, we like to help each other out.
That's what it's about. I mean, you poking fun, like my last show with Chris Campana. Him and I go at it all the time, but I'll always support the guy, and that's what it's about.
He did. He just did a cover for me too.
Oh, did he? Why didn't he tell me?
Yep. I don't know. We work on lots of stuff. It kind of slips our mind sometimes.
Maybe he did tell me, and I've just absorbed so much. I don't remember. Researching all. I know you guys and your bodies of work, but I still want to do research and make sure I know little things. And after a while, it's like a blur. Mark Torres is putting up. That was supposed to be put up for you before, Mark. I don't know. I guess it wasn't, but your link was supposed to be put up.
Oh.
So
I see it. It came from the radio. when he interviewed me at C2E2.
Yeah, Mark is great. He's got a good show. He's got a real good show. The funny thing is, with my shows, the attendance has been pretty good, but every time we're looking to wrap up, there becomes a little resurgence of people in the room, and it makes me say, should we wrap up? Because, people are really logging in and looking.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens.
Keith asked how you liked working at Zenescope.
Can I plead the fifth?
Okay, next question.
I'm just kidding. No, I like the I love the Zenescope guys. I just my only gripe with them is they never allowed me to go on a cover. Even to this day, they've asked me for interior pinups and stuff, and I'm like, can I do a cover? Well, we're kind of filled up. All right, well then I'm all right.
So they never gave you an actual reason, huh?
No, never got a reason. But I got asked so many times to do exclusive covers for them. I'm like, they won't let me.
That's weird. Do you think that has anything to do with it, or?
I have no idea. I've never asked. To me, I didn't really care. I'm not the guy to push confrontation or go. I just, at that point, I used it as a reason to, well, if I can't do a cover for you, then I'll just go do a cover for,
right.
everyone else.
Yeah, you don't push confrontation unless it's Ace Continental.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Unless Ace comes on. No, I just used it as fuel. I mean, I think as far as like an indie artist, I could be wrong, but I think I was the first one from Aspen to do a artist exclusive cover that wasn't for a retailer. It was just my own, not even being an Aspen artist. I use everything as fuel. Like, all right, well then I guess I'll just get better and do something else.
See, I'm the same way. I'm not a jealous type. I don't get down on myself. I want to take the challenge. If someone's doing something better than me, I'm happy for them, but how do I get there? And I just stay focused. Drives my wife crazy.
Yeah.
Jacob asked,
no, Jacob, I'm not doing interiors for him. I just did pinups for him. Interior pinups.
So, anybody have any other questions? Nothing? You guys were asking tons of questions where I wanted to ask my questions, and now you have nothing. Come on.
I think we scared him off with the Speedo talk.
Yeah, I don't know. There's still there's 19 people in a room right now, so somebody's got to have a voice. All right. Well, look, thank you so much for coming on, Ryan. I really sincerely wish you
absolutely
success and happiness, and I hope everything works out for you, and I look forward to your future projects. And
I thank you for having me on. It was fun.
Last chance. Anybody, anything to say to him? Chris said that not him. Speedos didn't scare him at all. No, when you wear them, it scares everybody else, though, Chris.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. You're welcome back anytime. If you ever have anything to push or plug or promote, if you feel it's worth your time, please feel free to shoot me a message, and we'll get you on again.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you having me on. It was fun. It was a good time.
Thanks. I enjoyed I've been really enjoying the conversations I'm having with everybody. So, all right. So,
well, that's good. At least it's not boring.
No, well, once we got the sound worked out, I think everything started to flow. But that looks beautiful, man. Great job.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, bud.
All right. So, Ryan Kincaid, check him out Tuesday, most likely on his page, and you can get this piece if you want it, and others as well. Ryan, have a great night, my friend.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
You too.
So that was episode 7. We're pretty unscripted these days, but I think it's fun. It flows pretty well. Thank you to everybody that comes out. We have a lot of faithful fans and supporters that come out. Hi, Heather Brennan. Thank you for coming out. Brenner, sorry. But thank you to the faithful that come out every show. Thank you to the new viewers that come out. Again, I encourage anyone, indie artists, published artists, local artists, I don't care, writers, etc. This show is for you. If you want exposure, if you want to get out there, feel free to DM me if you want to be a guest. I am booked out through December, but we've been pretty popular, thank God. But I would love to have anybody on. We talk comics. We can talk the business. We can promote your projects. I want to help, so please feel free to DM me. And again, thank you to everybody that comes out and supports me and the show and all the artists that are on here, because this is about them. Anyway, another great episode. Thanks again. Have a great Saturday and Sunday. And I will leave you with what I always leave you with. Have fun storming the castle.